Greetings, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, sorry for the delay there. I tweeted it out, but I actually hit the wrong button for the streaming. So sorry about that if people click the button. Okay, so let me get that tweeted again. Let me tweet that out one more time. Okay, and now. That's funny. And Oh, good stuff. Yeah, so I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Yeah, sorry about that. No, I clicked the wrong button when I was streaming, and I was talking, and I was like, wait a second, where? Oh no, it's not streaming yet. So I put the link anyway. So let's take a look. So here's what we have with the. Can you hear me? Actually, make sure the sound is good. Hey, okay, good. All right, so let's take a look, see where we're at in the market. So another trading day today. S&P up 54 points. The futures are down 12 points right now, but it kind of seems like kind of moot at this point because I mean it could be up 50 tomorrow, so we'll see. Yeah, I think it's down. Basically, they're talking about Huawei. They're I don't know, some more nonsense. So we'll see. We'll see how that holds up or not, right? So it's all if they buy the dip or not. But here we are. So we have the month so far. Pretty interesting stuff, right? So last month, right, we had this this topping tail off of the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly chart. Really pushed back down, got really scary, right? And then whoop, so far back up, right? So month obviously is nowhere close to being over, but sure looks like it's starting to put in a hammer, right? The weekly chart, we're almost done with the week. We have one more day. Now, if we do move down like 10 points or so, it'll still kind of pretty much be like a hammer, but we'll see how strong it can be, right? If it, heading into the weekend, we'll see if it stays above the mid Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. But so far on the daily, what a bar today, 44-point range, right? Plus the 10-point gap, giving us the 54-point total movement today. Or a little bit more, but we basically filled this entire gap here. Not only the daily open gap, but also the closing gap, and then we close that guy too. So these guys go away, and we have a continuity in our chart, at least up here, right? There's a few gaps and stuff down here, but we'll see. I don't know if we'll see those filled tomorrow, but we've got a closing gap up here. We got plenty of work up here. So closing gap here, and then not quite an opening gap there, but so we'll see if there's any more upside tomorrow for this. So pretty interesting stuff there. Let's take a look at the price action intraday today. So here's the 5-minute chart for today. I mean, it's basically just straight up. I mean, drawing trend lines today was kind of just whatever, right? Here's the trend line from yesterday. Basically continued up. At this point, I just gave up drawing trend lines because it's like it just keeps going up, right? So I had to. I mean, every bar was almost green today, right? Until you got to the R2 resistance level, right? So there we are. But yeah, very bullish, and nice cloud there too. So let's take a look at the daily chart. Hope everybody can hear okay. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So basically, this is where we're at, right? So here's the chart since early, right, 2018, right? Formed this nice big, orange channel here, right? We hit the top right here, tried the bottom, tried again, one more time, and then finally dropped, right? And then we got a nice reversal around Christmas time, and then came back up, grabbed the lower channel, right? Try to test the price there a little bit, and then decided to want to work its way back up. Got to the mid pitchfork. Right, and this allowed us to draw this nice pitchfork level, which we've been using. We have the midpoint lines, the upper midpoint and the lower midpoint. Okay, so we came off of the upper midpoint, which formed resistance here, right, at the former all-time high. Put a new all-time high in, came back down, right. Tested the pitchfork midpoint line, median line, came back up, got over its 50-day moving average at this reaction line, came all the way back up, top of the channel, and then back down again. And so here we are today. Nice push up off of the pitchfork median line. We closed over the 50-day moving average. We're back in this former resistance zone. So the question is, will this become resistance again, or will it become support? And then we test the top of the channel and possibly break out and start going to the top of the of that macro pitchfork. So lots of stuff going on. It should be pretty fun. But so this is what we've got. Today. So great discussion this week. We went over lots of market strength indicators and ideas from the McClellan oscillator to the bank to the advanced minus to the decline. And so today we're going to talk about the Ray Bull indicator. And there's also a Ray Bear indicator, right? But let's just keep the Ray Bull indicator on. So it's basically the Elder Ray, right? So it was developed by Dr. Alexander Elder, right? And so it measures the amount of buying and selling pressure in the market. Okay, and what he does is he takes 3 different indicators. and he basically uses bull power and bear power that are derived from the 13 EMA, the 13 period EMA. Okay, and so there's some mathematical formulas that he does. He takes the period high for the bull power minus the 13 EMA, and the bear power, he takes the 30 power low. Okay, cool. So there's some math behind it. So, but what does it do? It just kind of gives us an estimate of if there's strength in the market. It helps us kind of stay in trend, right? So it's a lot like your MACD oscillator, your histogram. So let's kind of take a look at that here and just pull it up here. So we have the Ray Bull. Okay, here's the Ray. I'll pull this up actually first. Here's the Ray 13. Okay, and so this shows you, right, kind of what's going on here, right? So we have the, this is the Ray, right? So we have, when we look at this, the bull power, we take the period high minus the 13, okay? And then we do this. So this is kind of, in general, what's happening, right? So we can kind of see, the 13s and all that stuff kind of crossing over. And there's some other calculations in there. So we get rid of this. Okay, so that's the Ray, and so then we can kind of break it into its component parts, right? So we can look at the bull indicator itself. So what I'll do is I'll just type in Ray bull indicator. Okay, and you kind of just look at here. It plots the I did bear power. We just want the bull power, and it plots the bull power portion of it. Okay, so what it does, it gives you kind of like this cool histogram, kind of indicator, right? And so what we look for is we look for crossovers, right, over the kind of the midpoint line of it, right, to see if there's any, what kind of strength we're seeing into the market. It helps give us an idea of, how we're trending, right, and what's happening. So let's just kind of take a look. Let's kind of go back through it. Here's the SPX chart over the last year, right? The SPX chart of the last year. And so what we could see is these important crossover points where it goes from negative to positive, right? So here we're negative here, right? As you can see, as we're coming down, right? Oh, we turned around, right? Obviously, right? Price, we had an inside day, and then we kind of popped up, and then the indicator started to work its way up. So while we're above here, right, we could kind of start to look, at some buying indicators, right? And or some buying opportunities, right? So as we're kind of going up, right? And then we see a divergence here in the bull power size, right? The height kind of drop down. So that's kind of an idea like, hey, maybe I'll take off some longs, that type of stuff. And so, just kind of really, really nice, right? So we had down here, we had this crossover here, we had this nice reversal that kind of worked its way up. A couple dips here, right? On some changes, and kind of go from there. So here we could see same thing, right? We recently dropped below, right? It was tough because we dropped below and we came back up that day, right? So the moving averages weren't really catching up yet. And then when they finally dropped, right, we could see we're negative, right, at this point. So that doesn't really help us here, right, because we're starting. It was really, really short-lived, and so so here we are. So we're starting to come back up to this area again. Well, obviously we've had a big run, but it may be a possible trend change where instead of having this drop-down period, that we may start to see, some progressive increases here. We could look to buy the dip again. And so that is now when we look back and we look at today, it's like, wow, this looked like pretty buyable today, right? And that's just a matter of price action using trend lines, right? Everything comes down to every indicator that's out there, right, is derived from either price or time or volume, right? For the most part, there's some other doohickeys out, but every price has to close first in order for these indicators to show anything, right? So if you go to really to the meat of everything, it's we're going to the price, and that's where we're looking at price action and stuff like that. So that's why we have our levels up here, like different key levels. Like here, if you're kind of just trading the price action, right? You kind of move up. You've got your kind of bull flag right here, right at the S2, and then there you go. I mean, we're bullish, right? So we're still above the upward trend line, and so therefore, the trend is up until proven otherwise. So when we get these pullbacks, we buy them, right? Until we start to get up to the point where, let me activate this. Right, so this is going to be rough. Let's assume it's like there until we get to the point where we start to cross underneath it, right? And then we look for minor pivots, and we look for those breakouts and all that stuff. So obviously at this point we were chopping, right? And then when it finally pushed below the upward trend line, right? Well, trend might be changing, but instead it didn't break below these minor pivots. Gave you just continue to do that, and then broke through the R2 at that point. So obviously going to price is the most sensible. But we look at these things sometimes, and it's hard to just kind of stare at all the price action all day, and it gets crazy. We like to look for other things that can kind of give us some confirmation, right? Some support and some confidence in our ideas, and that's where indicators really helpful from. So sometimes they give some pretty accurate stuff, if divergences. But again, even like with RSI, when you look for crossovers on that, it really kind of all maps back to the price anyway. But it does help to just kind of give perspective on where we're at in the market, right? So it gives us a frame of reference. That's what I like to call it. So sometimes if you just throw a chart at me, like the SPX, it's like, yeah, okay, cool, but it just showing everything. So if I just removed all studies, right? Let's see, what do I have here? Clear like this. If I just kind of removed everything, right, and then remove the moving averages, right, all I see is just, the basic price action, right? And then you can still work with it, right? I mean, you can do Elliott wave, you can get kind of a clue of where everything is. But when you throw a moving average up there, right, and you can see these, it gives you a little bit of perspective of where you're at, right? So if the 50, is over the 200 and the price is over the 50 and the 200, then, like it was here, right, you start to look for, kind of bullish activity, right? Sort of like all the way up here, right? The 50s over the 200, so, pullbacks, all that stuff's kind of viable. We had, a little bit of move here once we crossed over here, right? Buying pullbacks wasn't a really good idea. Snapping, shorting snapbacks was the way to go, right? Until, of course, we had the big reversal. So it doesn't really predict, it doesn't show everything, but it kind of gives you a clue, right? So we have other things, just gives us perspective, right? So, but when you go down into the price action, that's really where it goes. And then it's all about the trend lines, right? So at that point, so you have here, you're into the low, right? Didn't have to catch that big reversal, but gave you a minor pivot right here. So, right, we've done this before. This, there. So nice, strong close there. Nice strong bar right here. They close through it, then they can look to go long, right? Because the trend is now up until proven otherwise, right? So that's what we look at. Anyway, hope you guys find that helpful. So that's the Ray Bull indicator. You can also do the Ray Bear indicator. I'll just show it real quick, just so you can see what it looks like. Go Ray Bear. This shows the other side of the spectrum. Right? So it's a little more, a little more on the bearish side, right? It's a different the different calculation and all that stuff. So right now it's still saying, hey, we're not really out of the weather yet. We're not out of the we're not good yet, right? Until we can start to see a little bit more of a crossover on it. So pretty interesting stuff, right? So hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. Hopefully I could find what I was actually using on this with all that cool macro stuff. Let's see. I think I had positive trend pitchforks. Yep, that's our one. So good. Cool. SMDC4S. What? Jason Liu. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, man. MJ, how are you? Great job. Session. Hello. Good to see you. NetFrag. Hello. Yes, good audio. Oh, good. Thank you. Yes. I was seeing everybody starting to mention that. James, what's happening? Hi, everyone. Raphael, how's it going, man? Hope you had a good day today. MJ, yeah, great day. So good. Keep up the good work, right? Just keep, sometimes it's good. You don't have to have an awesome day. Just, kind of next day, just kind of go easy and all that stuff and just keep things going. But yeah, keep it running, man. Curtis, what's happening? Awesome. Hey, B, how are you? ATVI and Netflix. Nice. So let's look at ATVI. Glad you brought this one up, because they had earnings. Let's take a look. So not too much, right? Big spike up, big spike down, and now it's kind of like in the middle, right in the middle of the range. That doesn't really give us much to work with tomorrow. So it'll have some new volatility. I mean, basically anybody who had calls or puts, right now are crushed. And so we'll look and see what it does. We'll just look to trade some price action on it tomorrow. Might give us something on the 15. I mean, because right now, it had. Basically with the rest of the market, big move, filled its gap, and so, if it opens anywhere kind of in this range, blah. But we'll see what it has in the morning. Maybe it's got a little bit more and can get, over one of these levels. But right now it's back in the chop zone of ATVI, which stinks because it's one that we've been waiting for a big breakout for a while. Netflix. So Netflix is finally starting to look pretty good. In fact, it's a little bit of a morning star reversal. If this were a big red bar, we'd be good to go with it, right? It started to do a morning star here, but never really came up. But it did give sort of an indication of it, right? So we had this key reversal bar yesterday, or nice reversal bar yesterday. And then we had this push today through the downward trend line, right? So we've been waiting for this. So now at this point, we need to look at the price action tomorrow and see if we can push above that level. If we do, we can get a real strong day. We can get like a candlestick like this, very possibly off of it. So we're definitely going to be looking at that tomorrow. In fact, let me add an alert to that. Okay, so that looks good. That will definitely go on the game plan too. That looks like something we should be focusing on tomorrow. Very nice. SMDC4S, wow, ripped like is a yes, it did. Yes, a big McSee today. So very, very nice. Good job. Curtis, yeah, Roku and beyond. So Roku. We will Roku. So awesome gap up, right? Brought us above here. Looks like it was a straight up gap and go today, but was not that easy. I was watching this today. It had a quick rip at the open, right? Gave us a real nice bar initially. Very, very strong. Broke through our pre-market levels, and then really, really pushed up, and then came back, and then honestly kind of chopped a little bit, and then just kind of drifted into the open. So it wasn't like what was it? Let's go to the 15 here. It wasn't like Shake Shack. I was hoping it would be like Shake Shack today. I was going to be like, oh, Roku! That was pretty good one today. But remember this one a couple days ago? Oh, that was great. So a huge candle right on the daily. Then look at that Doji sandwich, guys. Paul, I don't know if you're here, but Doji sandwich, perfect. Boom, right there on Shake Shack. Don't you love seeing that after the fact? That's great. So anyway, nice stuff. It's always different, that's why it's good. That's why people have multiple monitors, right? Because you see this here, but then you're also, kind of digging through it, like right, trying to figure out, where the entries are. And when you see that, it's like, it's a very clear entry off of the daily chart. So that's why having the bigger charts up are actually pretty helpful. The daily and the weekly for sure. Sometimes the monthly. Yeah, so that's Roku. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, again, it could do something very similar like Shake Shack. It could do, let's see, nice bar. We might see like a Doji bar tomorrow, and then we might see a, Doji sandwich on Monday. So that could be something to look forward to too. But it'll be on our 30 orb list for tomorrow for sure. And then beyond. So beyond is interesting, right? So we did put in a new low here finally. So let's adjust our trend line here. So we have this, and then there we go. So we have that. So kind of interesting. We'll see. We closed below the trend line still at this point bearish, still proven otherwise. It's right at that kind of triangle midpoint line again, this 160 level, which is where they kind of did their offering at or whatever it was, where they sold their shares or whatever secondary thing. Anyway, so we'll see how that is. And again, it might still be bearish. Again, we have this huge gap down here still. So we have to definitely keep that in mind, right, as we are looking for potential targets on this one. So it's going to be on the bearish list for that. So session, I know Lulu calls. What did it do? We know how difficult Lulu is. Did it just give you just a straight bar today? Yeah, I saw that. Look at that. Big bar there, and then perfect. Left you a gap here, though, below, so you got that. Right, but it filled this little closing gap right here, right? So there's a little closing gap there. So wow, nice move today on Lulu. Yeah, I know. I wish I had it too. Brought it right back up to that 15 orb level where it was upgraded. Enjoy Life Apparel. How's it going, Sarah? Good evening. Call Saul. How are you? Good to see you. Jason, MDB, ZM, PEP, and BA. Yeah, let's take a look. So MDB. Yeah, it was on the bullish list the other day. It's we take our eyes off of these things sometimes, but that's the hard part, and that's why you don't want to do that, right? That's why we go through our watch list each night and start and look at these things because it's important, right? I mean, Facebook, like all the FANGs, a lot of stocks are really starting to kind of show these, trend line breakouts, right? So we just have to be patient and wait for these setups, right? So yeah, so MDB was nice, right? Remember it had this inside day right here, closed above it yesterday. Nice swing opportunity when you close above, a minor pivot breakout point below a trend line, right? And so there you go, nice close right there, nice swing in today would have been beautiful. And now it's a trend line over this downward trend line, right? Because this was a bump and run, right? To inverted bump and run, right? Off of the pitchfork line. And so now a break over today's high could be very interesting. Yorikiri bar. Very, very interesting. Yeah, Zoom. There's Zoom. It did it too, guys. We had and this is on the bullish. This is on the game plan for today too. This is a bullish stock. I was kind of it was very fast, but here you had the high that was poking up below this downward trend line. That was your minor pivot. Tagged it this morning. Boom. Right off of it. Right here, tagged yesterday's highs, came up, see ya. Right off the 15 or below. Good stuff. PEP. possible continuation. Look how it was attracted right back to that 60 anchor range on Zoom. Loves those levels. Wow, 3 white soldiers on this pretty much. Pepsi, so strong moves as it finally got out of this this big red candle, right? And so with this, right, we could go from here. We go from here. I started a breakout there. This little breakout right here was the start. But if we go a little more macro time frame. More macro time frame. It's not quite there yet. This is sort of the bump and run, inverted bump and run. So let's try this. Let's see if maybe it consolidates for a day and then gives a little minor pivot break and then kind of comes back up a little bit. So that would be pretty neat. And then BA. BA is great. Beautiful setup on BA. I really hope this gets nice follow through kind of coming up. Look at this. It came all the way down, just kind of zooming out right here. Look at that. It came all the way down to the upward pitchfork midpoint line. Right? This is a big time pitchfork, right? It's definitely showing us some key levels. Right? A little consolidation here, a little reversal up here, more consolidation here, down. Right? Came all the way down to the lower pitchfork, and look, here we are. Beautiful. Beautiful downward. Why is it doing this? Okay, so beautiful downward trend line break. Right here's that minor pivot over it, right? And we pushed through that today. Right there at 333 was a great entry, right? And then we closed above it. So I think this looks really good for a possible swing trade here, kind of over the next several days. So we'll see what it gives for us there. I just want to show you what this looks like here. That was that minor pivot level. Call it price level 1. If we go to the price action today, oh look at that. Once you have those lines up, right? This is why these levels are so good. Look at that. Inside 15 spinning top on that, to start that kind of movement right here. And then finally give you this hammer right on that line on the 30-minute. I'm sorry, that was inside 30. Forgive me. And then look at that. Inside hammer right on the line right here. So yeah, try to do it here, right? Failed. Never gave you a breakout bar. Just kind of drifted down. Then it gave you this inside bar here. And then see ya into the close. Very, very nice move off of that today. Impressive. Most impressive. Good. Alpesh, what's going on? Cosell, any thoughts on MACD short again? On the Big Mac? McDougal's. McDonald's. Macadonald. Let's see. Oh my goodness, look at that. Tagged at 220, 218 again. Now it's shifted a little bit, right? Because before it was at the top of the channel. This is definitely a key level, but at this point, once it's in the middle of the channel, McDonald's can do it kind of ever it wants to. So just be careful here. I would look and wait and see if it gives you some sort of hammer, some sort of bar, and then we can kind of travel that back up to the 220s. So McDonald's not easy to trade. It's not easy to trade, but occasionally you can catch a few good moves. See how it kind of gets a little shadowy right here, then it kind of chops around for a little bit. So I just be careful with McDonald's at this point. Enjoy Life Apparel. Let's see what we got. We got STNE. Wow. Stone Co. Big move today. Nice. And then somehow I click this thing. Okay. Yeah, big move today. The trend, is currently up here. Boom. Boom. Right? So trend is up until proven otherwise. Let's see if it's got anything interesting going on. Yeah, nice. Kind of give a little flag right here, and then nice move up today. Really, really good stuff. Earnings coming up pretty soon, but big move today for STNE. WPM. Outside bar. Okay. So look for direction one way or another on a breakout of this. So so here we could get movement again to this this fib fan line right here. So just kind of watch that. See if it does. See if it does that. It's got earnings coming up. It not had earnings today. After March, let's take a look. See what it did. Oh, it didn't like that. Okay, back down. So what do we got? 26. STNE didn't have earnings in it. It still had a few days, right? Yeah, it's just kind of moving around here, right? So this didn't have earnings for a little bit, right? Yeah, so with words per minute, okay, wheat and precious metals, yeah, it's kind of coming down a little bit, off of that earnings data. So 26.50-ish. So it's about here. So about the low of the day. so we'll see. If it takes out that low, we could see a push down here to like 25 or just around like 26 possibly. So Manoj, how's it going? Good to see you. Session. Also the bull indicator didn't hint at the dip. Did the bear indicator let us know that there was a more of a fall the next day? So you're talking about this? Yeah. Let's take a look real quick at the. Let's go back to SPX. And let's add the bear indicator. This is WPM. Sorry. Studies. Studies. RayBear. RayBear. Let's see if this showed anything. Yeah, it kind of did a little bit here. Look at that. So it got weak. It kind of came up. It started to show some weak. It tried to get a little bit bullish here as we're at the upper trend line. Now remember, guys, the real key to this was this upward trend line breakdown, right? The UTL breakdown. And here's your key bar. So that was your pivot level right there. You see I drew the box around it? That's your key breakdown point right there. So you could see what was happening though. Here, this started to tell you, very, very good. Yes, this started to tell you, hey, look at that. We've broken below here, guys. This is starting to get a little bit concerning. And then, of course, we had the big flush day. So there you go. Started to get say, I don't know, guys. So yeah, so that's pretty powerful, really, when you're looking for those dips. So if we put them both up as a reminder, start to see things. It wasn't much on the bull indicator, but the bear indicator is saying, I don't know, guys. And then you can see on the bull indicator was starting to come down a little bit, right? We're starting to see a little bit of a change in trend. Here. And that's what, combining these things with like price, like using your tools can help give you that kind of confirmation that you look for, right? So, so here, we're getting to, dip buying time back in December. You have this trend line right here. Go to this minor pivot there. And there we go. So you can kind of see what's happening, right? So we had a couple huge days back here, right? But things weren't really changing yet until... right, we had this crossover here on the bear indicator, and we started to see a little bit more on the bull indicator, basically here, right? So this day, this day, this day. So these were basically starting to say, hey, there's some change going on right in here, right? And then we kind of started moving. Then once the bear indicator crossed over, it was like to the moon. So when you have both of them going right in one direction, right, that's pretty good. When you start to see some changeovers, you got to be worried, right? So here you had to cross over here, right? There would have been a trend line. Let's just say we could have gone real here. There's your trend line there. So there's your trend line break. We broke over it right this day. So the bull indicator was starting to say, hey, things are starting to move here, obviously, from that day. And then we got, right, once everything crossed over, right, sideways a little bit, little measured move, little pennant, and then up, a little flag, and then up, right? And then, hey, this started to get a little bit worrisome up here, right? But the bull indicators were going up as these were getting smaller. And then finally here, the bull indicator was going down when the bear indicator kind of went flat. So it's a couple of kind of clue-ins there. These are good. I would say I'll probably pull these up. I'll start pulling these up too when we start seeing some trend line breaks to see if it makes any sense. Just give us some confirmation. So great question. Nudie Poo. Crom and Macy's. Gotcha. I understand. You had M on the mind. So Cron closed below its 15 orb today, right? Had a relatively rough day, right? Big reversal day today. So we had. Let's take a look at the price action today. Trying to remember. Yeah, it was really fast drop today, guys. Momentum drop. So, real big push here at this 1442 for a quick move down to 13, right? Really tough to do with options. But, with shares, definitely catchable there, I would say. So, yeah, so big gap up and then a huge reversal. So, the only thing that helped us with that is just kind of seeing some pre-market levels on that. So where it's going from here, right? Just looking at the, where am I? There. So where it's going from here, right? It failed to get over the downward trend line, right? So bearish until proven otherwise. So, look for look to short, snapbacks. Looks like the 50 MA is about to cross over the 200 too. So a little bit of a death cross there. So we'll see if that turns into anything lower. If it did, we might test again this kind of 12 level. If it got really bad, 1150, and then maybe down to 9. And then it might get to Neo levels. Penny stock. Macy's. Earnings coming up. That's something. Other than that, tough to see. Kind of trying here. We'll see. I think earnings are really going to be key with it. It's got to get over this 2150 level for any action. So keep an eye on it. Dennis, what's happening? Good evening. Is there somewhere I can go to get better understanding of the lingo and abbreviation so I don't feel like a 10th grader in quantum physics class? You can check out the newsletter. If you go to positive-trends.com, the newsletter is, I kind of define everything in there. Like if I try not to be too lingo-y. If I use lingo, I kind of go in and do that. But you can always check out Investopedia. If there's just a word you don't know, or Google, that type of stuff. I mean, I'll use abbreviations. If you check out my videos and stuff, like the 3-minute videos, I kind of recap a lot of stuff. Like if you go to that playlist, like DTL, UTL, like so upward trend line, downward trend line, stuff like that. Just things just to make it easier to say stuff. I mean, I don't know if there's like a trader's dictionary, like Urban Dictionary or something like that, but that would be pretty cool. There's some good books out there. I mean, John Carter's, Mastering the Trade has got like a great glossary in it, of terms and stuff like that. So I mean, just things like that. But you can find a lot of stuff online too. So I know, and I talk fast. So James, thoughts after the last few days? Yeah, let's take a look. So Buddy's been buying up options. He's building a position on it. So let's see how it's doing here. It's looking pretty good. I mean, it's starting to get some action here. It's got some work to do. Here's your original downward trend line, right? It has this kind of major pivot right here, and then it had this minor pivot right here. So it broke down below. It's back into the pivot range, combined pivot range. So at this point, right, it really needs to get above this high right here. It needs to get above 35.50. And if it could do that, you've got your volumetric over here over 36, and then once it gets over there, it can start looking kind of constructive. But at this point, it has some work to do. But I really, really like how it's closed above its earnings 15 orb high finally. So we'll see if that gives us any opportunities on Chewy. Yeah, but it's starting to show obviously bullish signs. So a very, very strong day today. 15 orb inside bar. See ya. TJF, what's happening? Amazon Shop and CMG. Let's take a look. So Amazon's starting to show some really nice signs. Let's take a look. So very, very nice stuff, right? So Amazon got a little bit tough to chase here, but it gave this is the breakout bar right here. So basically over today's highs, could start to get pretty bullish. So just keep an eye on Amazon. It's starting to look pretty good. Shop and CMG. Oh, goodness gracious. Shop till you drop. Wow. Big move as it breaks all-time highs. Lots of momentum on that one. Incredible move right there. Very, very nice move. Tough to catch, but possible. Right, we had this. I mean, it was a very, very tight move. So down here, breakout bar, through that bar, bullish, right? So good stuff on Shop. Pretty much that's all you need is Shop. And then CMG, the burritos. See how that's looking. There it is. Wow, it gapped over. Gap and go. Marabozu bar today. Look at that. Straight move from bottom to top. I'm sure there's a little bit of price action in there, but yeah, incredible bars today. Big move in the beginning, just kind of chopped in the end, then a nice push into the close, but didn't even give anybody a chance, right? Closed it over the upper trend line. It didn't even touch it. It just gap. See ya. So that's CMG for you. Is it bullish? Yeah, it's still bullish. It's got a new trend line up for sure. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Good stuff. Session. Okay, so we've got. I'm only going to go through these once if that's okay. No, just kidding. No, it happens a lot, man. Like I've done it before. So let's take a look. So Diz, good one. Diz, look at this. Diz is. It's been crazy weird, but let's keep it simple here. Trend line. Down, pivot, there's the big one. Okay, And then I'm trying to see what it did here. It's really tough. Otherwise, you've maybe got like this. So it's got some work to do, but it's trying. So see if it consolidates a little bit, and eventually a couple days gives us a minor pivot here, so we can work up for this kind of inverted bump and run type situation. Wow, very, very complex chart. WM. Bullish, very, very nice bars here. Tricky. These upper shadows. I mean, basically the breakout over yesterday's high, had some bullish implications, obviously. So lots of stuff, lots of good price action today. UNP. And that's one of the things, guys. Like, we look at these things all the time, but this is the key, right? Going into things with game plans, right? And so, so we're not taken by surprise by like a lot of these moves, right? And that's why putting those levels in, like we saw, right, is really important, right? So, like, just real quick with SPX. So, like, right, like the levels we just drew. So here we go. So we had like this drop here to this drop here. It was really, really tight stuff, right? We had this level, right? And then once we got over, right, these bars, then we can kind of just see like where that bullish activity was. What was the one we just looked at earlier? But anyway, if I see another one, MDB, I think it was, where we looked at the inside price action. Anyway, it's really important to trace those levels out and put those levels out so you can kind of stay focused on the different game plans and stuff during the day. So when we're doing this stuff, like in the evening, right, when you do it on we do it on our own, right? It's it's important to go back to it and kind of put those levels in so to remind it, because otherwise we get inundated with like so much information during the day, right? Like so much stuff like comes at us, like different data, new alerts, old alerts, things like that. So when we're focused on the things that we're really looking at, like this here, right, we can see. So we put in a big low yesterday, right, and that moves this trend line right here, and we had a little bit of a minor pivot there, right? And so if we had that level up on our screen today, right here, right, and we're kind of tracking that, be like, hey, if I get over this this real minor pivot, which is the prior day's high, right, I'll look for potential long entry, right? And so we go to the price action today, with this on it, and we can see it was really, really quick, right? We opened up, right, we pushed down, right, we took we took that level, right, filled that gap essentially. I mean, look at that, you can go long right there and then see ya, right, long all day. And then if you're swinging this, you're good, right? You've got your stop below these pivots right here, you're ready for another move up, another leg up. So that's just key, right, to do that. This is key stuff when we're tracking these trend lines. So it's tough, right? We got so much stuff we're looking at all day. But yeah, when we can kind of see those, it's important, right? So anyway. LQD. Interesting. Oh, look at that. Got that price thing. There. Boom. And boom. Okay. So just be careful, right? A breakdown below, right? Today's lows could be, bearish price action. So if you're looking at this one, you have an alert there, you can kind of see it, can look, or can anticipate it, right? So look for a breakdown there for potential push, bump and run type stuff. But it did get back over this trend line, so let's see if that holds, right? And then Okta. I just feel it's like, if you see like a family member, Okta, I don't know. It's got a while till earnings again. So let's see. This had kind of this move here. It loves these kind of channel type stuff, right? So here's your breakout today, or over yesterday's minor pivot, right? We did that here, right? You draw your line there. You're trading intraday for price action. Look for the entry. Here's that line. Oh, the same thing. Nice spinning top right here. Nice break through that line on the 30. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Give me an inside bar and a doji sandwich, doji continuation bar, right? Right at that level. Right, so there you go. So inside bar, key to signal to go long, pause bar, then we broke through it right here. Nice move, on there for 134 to 136. Nice 2-point move off of that. So just using this downward trend line, breakout technique. No, that's cool. Anil, what's happening? VMW. Oh, VW. Goodness. My left hand is like, oh, I want to do more. BMW. Okay, nice down move there. Here. Here. Here again, same thing. Here's your pivot from yesterday. Obviously still has a chance of continuation. You know, not bad to go long when it closes over it too. Right, here's your level, right? That hammer that pushed through it. Look at the 30. Oh, inside 30 right on it. Right, inside there it breaks it to the upside. Oh, right? And see if it gets continuation, right? A lot of these kind of tech names got a little bit hit with that Huawei stuff, but possible earnings run coming up for you too. Good. SNEC4SS all on YouTube and Google. Yep, totally. So then you can start to write the stuff down. You know, you take notes and all that stuff. But I recommend the newsletter. Chris, what's happening? Any possible candidates for Gap and Go for tomorrow? Let's take a look. I've got the following that are on the list for tomorrow. So we've got TTD, which I think ended up doing nothing. Let me see. So it's a big move today, and then earnings is flat, which is really disappointing. But it could still give us a good move tomorrow. It's good on the 15 orb. Let's look at this Symantec. All right, Symantec got a big move today and just kind of chopped around after kind of selling their unit type stuff. So this actually has a gap and go level here. It is possible, right? So here's the gap and go level for Symantec, but I don't know how much movement it's going to get. But it does have a chance, right? Because it had this island top up here. And if we're gapping above that level, which it looks like we're at right now after market, you know, we could get some strength into tomorrow on Symantec. So write that one down. That had earnings. ATVI looked pretty choppy. How about Uber? Uber might be a plop and drop. Let's see. Gap and go to the downside. Okay, so Uber was way up today. I still have the opening day 15 orbs because these have been significant levels for it, right? So this is really actually tough to catch, right? And this is perfect. We were talking about it, I think, yesterday. Inside day. So this is one of the ones you definitely want to try to catch the upside. Wasn't it inside day? It looked like it was. It closed actually down a little bit there. So anyway, failed to the downside. Big gap up today, and then let's see where it's at here. Back down after hours. You know, it got slammed down to 37.39. Now it's kind of at 40. So let's see where that actually puts it at on the daily chart again. I think I was going to skip over a couple as my thinkorswim is trying to process these charts. There it goes. All right, there's the weekly. Yeah, so if it's at 40, it's kind of like in the middle of the range. That doesn't really give us too much stuff to work with. And then let's see. I think DBX. Let's see what that gave us. I think they had bad earnings too. So this could give us a gap and go to the downside, right? If we close under this level here. Let's see. Yeah. So that's got, it's going to close. Let's see. Let's take a look. I saw it was down pretty big for a little bit. That's at 2020. Let's see. Yeah, if it opens here, this could give a drop to the downside. It would have to get some accelerated move here below this 1975. Then it could push a little bit to the downside. So you got a possibility there. And then we'll do some scans in the morning, see if anything's gapping up to give us a possible gap and go on it. So ideally, it doesn't look too promising though with the earnings stuff that we have here. So we'll have to look and see what the morning gives us. Nudie Poo, yeah, Bitcoin for fun, sure. I'll do the Bitcoin futures. Okay, so let's take a look. If we pick a level here, look at how it held all these fib fan lines. That was from the all-time high down to this all-time low here, or whatever, that low there. And so look at that, nice level that it's held, right? It's actually a nice pennant right here. But let's take a look and see. I mean, here's kind of a recent trend line right here. Right, so it's still holding this trend line. So I mean, it's bullish till proven otherwise. So look to see if it gives you a minor pivot here, and then a potential breakdown. So so keep an eye. Otherwise, it's bullish until proven otherwise. So, Robbie Kumar, how's it going? KR and Spy. Yep. Take a look. Kroger. Okay, cool. Look how it's been loving this fib fan line too, right? So it kind of worked its way back up. It's going next dividend in a couple days, so just kind of keep an eye on that. Other than that, it's just kind of a little bit of a 2B reversal here, right? So it kind of gapped above that and then pushed. So let's see if it pauses a little bit, gives you a little consolidation here, and then eventually works itself up to that kind of 25 level. So good stuff there. Heather, good evening. QQQ and Baba listening in the car. So sorry if these are repeats. Oh, no, you're cool. So QQQ. Again, a lot of the Qs got, a lot of the tech stocks got hit on this more Huawei news, stuff. So I don't know. All this news is just the same stuff, like all over again. It's like, really, is this really affecting anything? So, but the Qs, right? Same thing. Give us that minor breakdown point right here. Right here's your downward trend line. Here, okay. Gave a minor pivot here, closed above it, and then kind of gapped up today. So it's looking very, very strong. It looks like, let's see, the high here was 184.51 and the low was 184.50. So there's actually an open gap here below, as well, and there's still one above. So we have to look and see if tomorrow's gonna be a fun kind of pause day, or if it's if it's gonna get some continuation on it. So we'll see if Huawei affects it too going into tomorrow, and then Baba. Yeah, nice hammer day on Baba, actually. So it got some pretty good move here. So just look and see if that holds, right? A breakout above today's highs could start to push, might even get up to that kind of 165 level. But just look for the appropriate price action on it, really. It's kind of the key. Very, very steep stuff. But nice outside bar, engulfing bar yesterday, and got continuation to the upside today. So it looks pretty bullish overall. So Shirley, how's it going? Back to the gold, GDX. To the gold here. Yeah, it's holding on. It's holding on, Shirley. So yeah, just kind of continue to work its way up. So just be careful of that possible bump and run. Nugget. Yeah, nice move on Nugget back over the pitchfork, right? Still has a potential continuation there. Lily. Let's take a look. Yeah, Eli Lilly, look at that. Starting to get out of the first fib arc from our most recent high to this recent pivot low. And look at that, starting to work its way up. Let's see if we can get up there to the this 116 level and then beyond. Right, that would give your volumetric kind of stuff. VST. Oh wow, look at that! Watch out here, Shirley. It just tagged the 50-day moving average, so just be careful if that became resistance or not. Light. Nice gap up, Shirley. Yeah, this is very, 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 very powerful one, guys. This is a potential gap and go one too. If you just kind of look at this here, I didn't even see this one today, but here the high was 59.42, put right over this pivot. You draw like a little line right here. This 59.42 like area, right? We zoom into the shorter time frames just to kind of look. Auto zoom. Right, nice move. Wow, it didn't do it until the end of the day. It chopped around all morning. That stinks. So couldn't give a gap and go this morning at all. That's annoying. So it just chopped around all day, and then finally, very complicated price action. This swing only and stay away from this. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. That's like an exception to all rules. So, but yeah, it ended up moving today. So hopefully it gets up to get over 64 there for you. McDonald's, we just looked at that a little bit ago. So yeah, so hopefully you get up to 225. That would be closer to the top of that channel that we looked at. Insane 15 row. Oh yeah, MNST. What happened on it? I saw that someone was talking about it. I think Pierre was talking about it earlier. Oh my goodness. Look at that. This is a Paul favorite, Algo 382. This is one of his favorite ones to trade. What an earnings move. Oh my goodness. So what happened? So they started here. Oh my, look at that. Big pre-market levels. Let's see if there's anything interesting going on here. Wow. So this was just a quick reversal right here. I mean, it had a huge range last night. And then this morning, gave a little bit of stuff here, like right at 56. Right, kind of gave some stuff. Let's just kind of put a box around there. Let's give these levels. Right, then it had some aftermarket resistance levels that it got through all of those today. Let's see how it looked on like the 15 chart. Tough, yeah, big, yeah, 15 orbit, but the reversal today is really incredible. Let's look again and just see where it gapped down to that warranted such a reversal. So we were. I just want to see if this made sense. Yeah, so it couldn't get to the gap and go, right, the plop and drop areas here. And so because it couldn't do that, right, that gave you that resistance level for a potential reversal. So this is the opposite. Chris, earlier you were asking about the gap and goes. Sometimes we look for these, right? So if it were going to gap and go, it would have had a gap below, say, like 52 to potentially fill this gap and start moving down. But since it couldn't get below all this junk down here, right, it found support, and they bought it back up. Golly, look at that. Inside 60 over the VWAP, up for the rest of the day. That's what I'm talking about for an inside 60. Inside 30 over the VWAP. Look at that. Whoosh. Incredible moves there. This 30 and the 60 time frame just make that look easy. Wow. And the 30 was right over all the pre-market levels too. Oh, beautiful move right there. Gorgeous trade. Nice stuff. And then AMRS, Shirley? Whew. Triple inside 30 there, then a double inside 30 to finally spike up there. Let's see if it gave. Oh, look at that. Let's get quadruple inside 15 at the end of the day. But yeah, big bar today for sure. And could get some continuation. If it gets over this 375, it gets over 335, it could start to move. So it looks pretty good. Ravi Kumar, my pleasure. Urai, how's it going? Sorry for joining Meow. You're good. Yelp. Let's take a look at Yelp. Yelp. Yelp me. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Let's go from here. Highs here. All right, well, let's try to get back over this upward trend line. That's it. Is that all I had for earnings today? That was really boring, huh? Oh, I did it tonight. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, see if it does it. Right now it's at 3670. So 3670. If we can get over 37, this could be a potential gap and go. If we can get over that bar right there, then we could get a gap and go. I'll add that to the game plan for tonight. Is this even tradable? I don't think I've traded Yelp. I think I've traded Grub. Let's see if Yelp. There's a little bit of volume up here. Looks like some lotto players. Looks like the spreads get a little bit funky in here. I don't know if I could trade this one, but if you trade shares though, you might be able to get catch a little move over any of these pivots right here to start working on that gap fill. So that would be pretty neat. So good. Yeah, if you can get through there, if you can get over those pivots, you could be good. Yeah, just be careful on the options. So you might just have to do common shares on that one. So good stuff. No problem, Jason. My pleasure. Good. All right, guys. Well, yeah, my pleasure. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new here, please subscribe to us on YouTube. We do this every market night. Bring your questions and chart requests. We usually have a new technical topic or we talk about something really interesting that happened in the market that day and some setups. And we learn a lot of stuff, too. So it's really good. So if you're new here from YouTube, check us out on Twitter. The links are in the description. And then also positive-trends.com. We've got all sorts of service levels with the newsletter and private Twitter and all that stuff. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening. Tomorrow is Friday, so think about next week's options so you don't get assigned anything accidentally by the end of the day. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.